What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Racy Podcast. This is your host, Cristopher Zamora. Welcome to the show. Yes, I am wearing a hat because this week I'm actually going to go to the rodeo on Sunday. It's actually called Tejano Day. That's like a day that is usually celebrated for almost everybody that lives here in Texas. And like the rodeo, that's like the main place where it takes place. So I'm just wearing a hat just because. So today, guys, I just want to speak to you about something that I've never really talked about on this podcast. So if you are new here, my name is Christopher Zamora. I usually just talk about combat sports, but never really about sports in general. But today I just want to speak to you about Stephen Curry. If you don't know basketball, he's one of the major basketball players today, and now he has made over 4,000 three-pointers in his NBA career. He's the NBA basketball player that has made over 4,000 three-pointers. Nobody in NBA history has ever made that many three-pointers in their career. And Steph Curry has been the first one that has done it. So that's pretty awesome, man. Actually have been following the sport for the past like few months or so, because I actually just started like sports betting. I've been sports betting for MMA. You guys know that I'm a huge fan of combat sports. MMA is one of them and boxing is the other. Sometimes wrestling. But now I'm getting into like basketball, and maybe this might be the last time I might talk about basketball. But yeah, like if you are an older fan watching this podcast, you're probably wondering, Chris, what are you talking about? This is not you. And for the newcomers, welcome. So yeah, Stephen Curry has made over 4,000 three-pointers. That's insane, dude. He actually made it against the Sacramento Kings. It was the home game, and that's pretty cool, man. I was wondering when he was actually going to make the last three-pointer to make 4,000. The first one, he made it like in the very first quarter. But it took him a very long time. I think he made it like in the last 2 to 3 minutes of the third quarter. The last three-pointer to make 4,000 three-pointers. It took him such time because like everybody, I swear, like at least 2 players always block him. All the time, dude. All the time, because they don't want this guy to score, and they just feel threatened, and they have to protect the basket from him actually shooting the shot. But nah, he actually made 4,000 three-pointers, and that's very awesome, man. That's very awesome, man. The crazy part is he actually made it a day before his birthday. Wow, that's pretty cool. It was on the 13th that he made the 4,000 three-pointers, and the 14th, that's his actual birthday. He turned 37, and the next game that he's going to play is against the New York Knicks. He actually, the Golden State, the team that he plays with, the Golden State Warriors, they actually defeated them in their home base. And now the New York Knicks might want revenge against the Golden State Warriors. So we will see how that game actually turns out. It's actually going to be tonight that they are going to play, and let's see how they actually do against them in the home base. Probably it could be a competitive game because the New York Knicks have been on fire lately, and I think they're like in the top 3 teams in the Eastern Conference. Yeah, I do believe so. But the Golden State actually got a win against them, so that's cool to see. It was at their home base at Madison Square Garden. And Brunson, one of New York Knicks' best players, he's not actually playing tonight. So maybe they might have a an easier time against them, the Golden State, against the New York Knicks, because Brunson, he is like one of the main guys for that team. Let's see how that actually turns out. Yeah, but that's very cool, man. That's very cool to actually see. You're witnessing history, like somebody that made 4,000 3 pointers. You don't see that often. I think the second person that has the most 3 pointers in the league, it is, I believe, it's James Harden, and I think he has like around 180. I'm not really sure, but I checked it like last week or so. I'm not really sure how many he has now because I don't really watch the LA Clippers games. The teams I mostly really watch is usually just the Golden State Warriors and also the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, those are like the two main teams that I usually watch. The Los Angeles Lakers, they got Luka Doncic. Like, again, if you are not a fan of sports, Luka Doncic is basically like one of the best up and coming players right now. He is, I think he's like 26 years old and he's on fire. That guy is very good, pretty good. And like recently, he was on the Dallas Mavericks. That's another basketball team that last year that they went up against the Boston Celtics. And the crazy part is they made it to the finals, right? The Dallas Mavericks against the Boston Celtics. They lost against the Celtics. Like, they lost the main title for the NBA Finals. And the crazy part is the people in charge of the Dallas Mavericks, they traded Luka Doncic, the guy who led them to almost to close victory against the Boston Celtics, the one that took them to the finals. They traded him for Anthony Davis. Now, don't get me wrong, Anthony Davis is pretty good, but the thing is, he's very injured prone. He gets injured very easily, and if you are a Dallas Mavericks fan, then you probably were mad. They definitely were mad that they traded their best player that they had. Yes, they had Kyrie Irving, and they also have Klay Thompson, but Kyrie Irving, he just recently got injured. He's out of the Dallas Mavericks for the whole season. He's no longer playing this season because he got injured. And Klay Thompson is, he can't do it by himself. He needs all the help that he can get. Yeah, and that's the thing that sucks about the Dallas Mavericks. They definitely might not make it to the playoffs even. I'm not really sure what number, what place they are in, but I highly doubted that they are going to make it to the playoffs, to be honest. But yeah, the Lakers, they got Luka Doncic, and they also have LeBron James, Austin Reeves. Recently, LeBron James, he got injured. He got a groin injury. And yeah, that really does suck for the team. And I think like 2 to 3 days ago, they played against the Milwaukee Bucks in their home base. And like, they were losing badly. Yeah, it really does suck because they were trying the best, but supposedly like LeBron James is usually the guy that leads the team to victory. Yeah, the Milwaukee Bucks, they're a very hard team to beat, and they need all the help they can get. Luka couldn't do it by himself, and Austin Reeves, he was doing his best as well. And yeah, they did lose against them. On the last game that I just saw the highlights of, they played against the Denver Nuggets, and Luka and LeBron James, they weren't playing at all. They did not play this game against the Nuggets, and it was between Austin Reeves and I'm not really sure his first name, but his last name is Necht D. I'm not really sure his first name, But these were the actual two main players for the Lakers. They're trying to lead them to victory. That was an even closer game. And like Austin Reeves, he was doing pretty good, to be honest. He got 37 points. Usually he doesn't get that many in his games that he plays with LeBron James and Luka. So that was pretty good. And also that guy Nick D. I'm not really sure his first name. I think he got like around like 25 points. Yeah, and they actually did a pretty good job, and they lost against the Denver Nuggets. It was actually a close game. The Denver Nuggets, they have Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic is actually another great player. Supposedly that guy has gotten at least 70 points in total, over 70 points in total in one game, and that's never really happened before. He has broken a major record, to be honest, for one player. That's pretty cool. I think it was against the Detroit Pistons. I probably might be wrong, but he recently got over 70 points in his regular points, like shooting, rebounds, and assists. That guy is insane, man. It's insane how he actually pulled it off, man. So yeah, that's what it is right now for the NBA. Like with the major teams that I watch, to be honest. Let's see how the Golden State actually does against the New York Knicks. I'm not really sure the next game that the Los Angeles Lakers are going to play, but let's see how they actually do, man, since they don't have LeBron James and maybe Luka is not going to play again. Let's see how they actually do. I think next week they're actually going to play the Denver Nuggets. We'll see how it actually turns out, but I'm excited to actually see. I know, guys, this was a very strange episode for you. Like, if you are a regular viewer, like, why Cris is talking about basketball. He doesn't talk about basketball. But yeah, it was just something new I wanted to try. Maybe I might not even talk about basketball ever again in this podcast. But we will see. We'll see how it turns out. And yeah, guys, that is it for this podcast. If you are new here, make sure to follow this podcast on whichever platform you are listening to it. If you are listening to it on Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, make sure to follow it. And also recommend this podcast to a friend or a neighbor that actually likes listening to sports overall, like combat sports, sports in general, like basketball, football. Maybe they will enjoy this podcast as much as you do. And I usually talk about pop culture stuff as well. And yeah, guys, that is it for this podcast. Again, thank you so much for listening. Take care and live to the fullest. Bye.